Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, yes, tamu sana. Earlier today, William Ruto was actually heckled and literally chased away from Kieni constituency. And that has been the discussion all day long today. So about some few hours ago, Mutahi Ngunyi has also been roped into the whole drama. Mutahi Ngunyi, taking to his Twitter handle, has also tweeted something about that drama, about that Kieni heckling. So this tweet by Mutahi Ngunyi today is going to form the basis of our analysis and discussion today. I want us to have a look at the tweet together with the video that Mutahi Ngunyi has actually shared. So in case you've just bumped on this YouTube channel for the very first time, kindly subscribe and also give this video a like. We are almost hitting the 10,000 subscribers mark. Be part and parcel of our first 10,000 subscribers. Let's have a look at the tweet. Mutahi Ngunyi. Wakikuyus in Nyeri calling Ruto mwizi and on a Sunday. And then Mutahi Ngunyi with that post shares that video of William Ruto being heckled. If you have not watched the video, that's the video. Yes. From that video, you can hear those Kenyans, those Kieni residents, shouting and calling Ruto mwizi, mwizi, mwizi. I think that is very interesting because Ruto becomes the first top Kenyan politician to be referred to as mwizi by Kenyans in public. He becomes the first top Kenyan politician to be shouted mwizi. Yes. So in this video, ladies and gentlemen, I want us to really understand what is really happening here. William Ruto is really trying so hard to portray himself as a God-loving Kenyan. Somebody who goes to church regularly and donates willingly to churches. Somebody who loves the hustlers. Somebody who has a good heart. Why is it that some good percentage of Kenyans still feels this man ni mwizi? Or why is it that some good percentage of Kenyans still feels Ruto as if he's just pretending after doing all these things to endear himself to the people? That's our analysis. I know there might be other many reasons as to why some Kenyans still believes that Ruto is just pretending. He's just a hyena in a sheepskin. There might be other reasons, but I've summarized them into 6 reasons for you maybe to understand better what I'm trying to say. The first reason why maybe some Kenyans still doubt whether Ruto is a church person or whether Ruto is a good person is because Ruto has been mentioned in so many numerous corruption allegations. A lot of corruption allegations. We had, when they first came to power in 2013, the first scandal that we had about William Ruto was the Hustler's Jet that cost Kenyan taxpayers well over 100 million Kenya shillings. At a time, Kenyans were really going through a lot of economic hardship. Then after that came the Aurora and the Kimware Dam. Then we had the Western Hotel. Then recently, we have been told of so many corruption allegation scandals. So with all these corruption allegations, a good percentage of Kenyans believes that Ruto actually is the most corrupt politician in Kenya. There was also a survey that I believe was done sometimes back in 2018 by the Synovate, formerly the Stedman Group. And Synovate asked Kenyans a random question. Who do you think is the most corrupt Kenyan? And a good percentage, in fact a majority, ranked Ruto as the most corrupt individual in Kenya. He was followed secondly by Anne Waiguru, And Anne Waiguru actually even threatened to go to court. So during that time, from that time, a good percentage of Kenyans still believes that Ruto is still very, very corrupt. So even though he's trying so hard to be seen as somebody going to church, donating willingly to churches, some Kenyans still just don't believe in him. Secondly, it's also widely believed, it's a talk everywhere, that Ruto was actively involved in the Kiambaa Church massacre that occurred in 2007. At that time, William Ruto was in ODM party. And that case was also the reason as to why William Ruto went to Hague to answer to charges about that Kiambaa Church massacre. So even though he's really trying so hard to portray himself as a godly person, quoting some Bible verses, some Kenyans still don't just believe that this man is actually a good person, just as a result of that Kiambaa Church massacre incident alone. That really drives so many Kenyans away from William Ruto. And then thirdly, it's also widely believed by a good number of Kenyans that William Ruto might be involved in some of mysterious disappearances and murders in our country. Before Jacob Juma passed on, Jacob Juma had actually complained that his life was in danger and that the person who most likely was trying to threaten him was none other than William Ruto. Jacob Juma made that clear before he passed on. So after his death, there were wide allegations and rumors that maybe William Ruto was the person who was involved in the disappearance of Jacob Juma. Up to today, ladies and gentlemen, the truth has never been out. Kenyans still are just left speculating. So with that again, some Kenyans still find it very hard to believe that William Ruto is a good man. So these are the things William Ruto has to work on to redeem his image, to convince Kenyans that these allegations that have been labeled against him are not actually true. William Ruto should come out in broad daylight clearly and explain to Kenyans that these are just mere allegations. And then fourthly, William Ruto sometimes talks and just thumbs a lot. Anajipiga kifua sana. He's a man who believes that he knows it all and that all these other people are just secondary to him. So with this also, and he always just comes with a lot of anger and also using some abusive language and abuses, like referring to some Kenyans as waganga, mganga, wale watu wa kukaa kwa lami, referring to a Kenyan as a mganga, wale watu wa kukaa kwa lami. William Ruto's language is actually betraying him. He doesn't have the polished language. His language comes out as it's just thumping, boastful, and abusive. Somebody who believes in God, a person of God, we expect that person to be somebody of some virtues, not using very abusive languages, and always you talk as if you are annoyed. So with that, again, some Kenyans don't really trust and believe that William Ruto is a good person. And then fifthly, ladies and gentlemen, some Kenyans also can't just trust Ruto because they believe that William Ruto is a great tribalist and a liar. A great tribalist and a liar. When Jubilee first came to power in 2013, William Ruto, in fact Jubilee, of URP and Kieni shared cabinet into half. The half that was given to William Ruto, and that's something that is in the public domain. Majority, if not 80 to 90% of the names he proposed as cabinet secretaries were all coming from his ethnic Kalenjin community. That's a fact and not debatable. So with that kind of such a selection, some Kenyans believe that this man is a tribalist, somebody who cannot be trusted to actually unify Kenyans. Because first he believes that the people who qualify to hold positions are his ethnic Kalenjin community. And that Kenyans saw when the first time Jubilee came to power in 2013. William Ruto appointed most of the Kalenjins as cabinet secretaries. And then on top of that, Ruto has been giving constant promises that he never fulfills. We have the stadiums, we have the laptops, and every time he goes to a public function orally, he continues giving promises, constant promises. To a point one time now, the president was actually had to cancel the launching of new projects. William Ruto was all over the country launching projects that had not even been budgeted for. So Kenyans who are keenly looking at William Ruto just believes he is a liar, somebody who just keeps promising Kenyans things that he knows he will not deliver. And then finally, you know, you are known by the kind of characters who you hang around with. William Ruto, the people surrounding William Ruto, they are people of questionable characters. Questionable characters. And we know the birds of the same feather always flock together. Recently, one person that is coming out as William Ruto's friend is Museveni, this non-dictator. This man was muscled Ugandans. That is coming out as William Ruto's friend. Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the non-dictator. And then also, here in Kenya, we have the likes of Rashid Echesa. Right? Rashid Echesa. We have Oscar Sudi. We have Moses Kuria. People who are known to be very loose in mouth. They just talk. Hate speech. Not even caring what that hate speech can lead to. So with all this type of people, and then recently Harun Ayadin, somebody who is known to be, who was sometimes arrested and charged of killing a business rival. And he was also charged or arrested on allegations of aiding terrorist activities. That was in Germany. So with all this type of key characters, some questions might be asked. And that's why some Kenyans actually don't believe that William Ruto is a churchgoer, a good person of God, as he wants Kenyans to believe. And that was today highlighted in Kieni when residents there were shouting and calling him Mwizi on a Sunday. Mark you, he was going to a church. Yes. So having said all this, I just hope that some William Ruto's aides are watching me here today. William Ruto must work on these issues. He has to come out and redeem his image before it's late. Because if this thing now sinks deep, if it sinks in Kenyans, or rather if Kenyans really swallow this, it will be very, very hard for William Ruto to redeem his image out of all these accusations. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, just as I did mention when we were starting, kindly subscribe and also give this video a like. Give it a like, please. For those watching us outside of Kenya, for the very first time, drop a comment and let us know from which part of the globe you are also watching us from. God bless you. God bless Kenya. Tamu sana, tamu sana.